So once again, here's my top view. If I zoom back out, you can see here's my light. This is my number one light. Let's add some fill light. Let's try to get rid of some of the shadows we see here and some of the shadows we see over here by adding some fill lights. So once again, if I go back to create light, right now you can see I'm using spotlight, right? And again, I'm going to use a point filter. So you'll notice, right, as I move the glyph around, you'll notice here where it appears in the model. So I want to try to have a light just about some distance away here from it and maybe halfway up the height of the assembly model. So here I'll use point XY, okay, and I'll click into this area and I'll set the height to about 2, enter, and then now I'm prompted to set the target point. Again, I can use OSnap, or I could turn it off, and I can use point filter. So here I can use point XY, enter, left click, now enter the Z. Again, I want it to be about 1.5 or 2 inches. Just type that in and enter. And then enter again to exit, and then you'll see your new light. Now you can actually see the impact of that light. And once again, you can see the length of that light, right? And if I select it, I can use the properties here to make the adjustments. All right. So here, remember, all the lighting is accumulative, right? And what I could do here is I can adjust the hotspot and the fall off, right? Remember, if I increase the fall off, see how that cone widens? It softens the gradation from light to dark. Also, if I take a look here at the intensity factor, okay, let's bring that down to about 50%, okay, and now let's get an idea. What does it look like, right? So we got 2 lights now, and I render again, and I take a look at what we've got here. As we're going through this, you can start to see a little bit more detail, right? A little bit more detail. Now we got 2 white lights. One interesting thing about fill lights is that you could start to create drama with them, right? What do I mean by that? Well, right now, if I go back to this light, okay, you can see the filter color is just white. But let's give it a little blue tinge, right? Oh, a little 151, okay? Now, in addition, watch this. Let's put in another light here. And this time we're going to put it slightly in front of it, okay, and just slightly in the middle of it as well in terms of its elevation. So here I'll put point XY, enter, right about here, left click, now enter 2 for the height, and now you do the target. So once again with the target, what I'm going to do here is put point XY, enter, and right about this area, right here, right towards the back of the end plate, and also set that to 2. And then enter again. Select the light one more time, and this time we'll give it a little red tinge. Okay? Coming back to the right viewport, the one that shows your custom view, hit render again, open that render window, and now take a look at this. What you actually see now, right, is the edges are more dramatic. What happens here is red tends to make things recede. They go into the background. Blue tends to pull things into the foreground. Just take a look, right? See here how it's flat? And then in this image, all the edges are much more highlighted, much more defined. With a little bit of red and blue, you get a little bit more drama. Okay? Now, again, it's a process. We can continue to work with our material browser and editor to improve our materials. We can continue to add lights or simply edit the lights. And as we proceed, let's say we want a better and better representation. Let's jump all the way up to high, okay, or medium for right now. If I render this, you're going to see the render quality improve. Notice how there's more smoothness. There's the anti-aliasing, right? You don't see the crumbly edges as much, all right? The higher quality, the better reflection as well. Take a look at that right there. You see a lot more detail. So just by doing the draft render, you're not going to see the best quality. But if you're getting closer and closer, right, bump up the render quality and preview. In this preview window, you could zoom in to see, right? Take a look at the quality. Look at the reflection. Look at the shadows. Is everything illuminated? Now, also, what you'll be able to do is if there's minor adjustments, you could take a look at exposure. Okay, here, if you adjust the exposure, here, what you could do is just numerically adjust exposure so you can increase the brightness or lower it. You can increase the contrast or lower it. And then as you render, it'll be updated dynamically, right? Now, once you get to the point where you've determined the final properties for your materials, maybe you've added more materials and all your lighting is correct, then you're ready to make your image. And this is the part where what you want to do is make your final render, and you're going to use a high quality image. And you're going to need to save it.